Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. You're here because you're interested in AI and tech stocks, and, well, let's be real, the market's feeling a little bit pricey these days.
Yeah, a little frothy.
So we're going to dig into an analysis that was published literally just this week by a financial expert to see what they're watching. And what's so cool is that even with the market being maybe a little overvalued, there are some seriously amazing opportunity, particularly in the world of AI.
It really is a fascinating time to be following tech, and we're seeing a shift where AI is moving beyond just, the hype and into real applications that are honestly transforming entire industries.
Okay, so to get started, let's do a quick market overview. The expert points out that the S&P 500 is currently trading at 22 times future earnings, which is a good 21% above the 10-year average.
Yeah, so stocks are looking a bit expensive right now.
Exactly. But here's the thing. The tech sector is actually projected to grow earnings at 22%.
Which is massive compared to just 13.3% for the S&P 500 as a whole.
Right. So what do you think is causing that? What's pushing tech to kind of defy the overall trend?
I think it really comes down to the potential that investors see in AI. It's not just a buzzword anymore. We're seeing practical applications that are changing the game in things like healthcare finance, even just everyday things like the way we shop or commute.
Mm.
And that's fueling a lot of optimism, even in a market that's generally, being pretty cautious.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So let's get into the good stuff. The expert has picked out 5 tech stocks that they believe are worth watching right now. And here's what's interesting. They're all deeply involved in the AI revolution in different ways, which, like we said, is key to future growth.
Absolutely. And what's really striking is the variety on this list. You've got some established big players that offer more steady growth. And then you've got some picks that are a little riskier, but man, they could really skyrocket.
Okay, so first up is Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO. They are a major player when it comes to data center infrastructure, like the backbone of the internet.
Exactly.
As we all create and, process more and more data, Broadcom's solutions are becoming increasingly critical. The expert actually sees them as a strong play because they're well positioned to benefit from this, increasing demand for data storage and processing.
Mm-hmm.
They've even set a price target of $283 for Broadcom, which represents a potential return of 27%.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, it is. And their strong track record when it comes to innovation and, strategic acquisitions just makes them even more attractive.
They're really good at constantly adapting and evolving to stay ahead of the game.
Right. Next, we have Arista Networks, ticker symbol ADEC. They specialize in high-speed, low-latency networking hardware. And just to be clear, latency basically means the delay in data transfer.
Right, we're talking milliseconds here, which might not sound like much, but in time-sensitive applications like financial trading or even online gaming, milliseconds can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. So Arista's technology is all about ensuring that data moves as quickly as possible. The expert is predicting a potential 38% return for Arista with a price target of $180.
What I find really interesting about Arista is that they're benefiting from a trend that goes even beyond just AI. They're riding this wave of demand for high bandwidth connectivity across every industry. It's becoming essential infrastructure.
Now let's talk about Salesforce, ticker symbol CRM. Now they're already a giant in the world of customer relationship management, but what's really exciting is their push into AI-powered chatbots.
Oh yeah, chatbots are really changing the game when it comes to things like customer service sales marketing.
For sure, and Salesforce is taking it to a whole new level by integrating AI to make these chatbots even smarter, even more effective.
Mm-hmm.
They can answer questions, personalize recommendations, even predict customer needs.
It's pretty amazing.
It is, and the expert sees this as a key thing that sets Salesforce apart, and they've given them a price target of $412, which represents a potential return of 33%.
We're a great example of a company that's not just, resting on their past success. They're actively incorporating AI to enhance their existing stuff,
Right.
which keeps them relevant and competitive.
Makes sense. Next, we have Advanced Micro Devices, or AMD, ticker symbol AMD, and they're going up against the giant in AI chips,
NVIDIA.
NVIDIA, exactly, and they're making some serious waves with their own powerful AI processors.
Yeah.
What's really intriguing to me is that they're kind of the underdog here.
Totally.
So what makes the expert think they can gain so much market share?
Well, their chips are becoming super popular for data centers, cloud environments, gaming PCs, you name it. And they have a reputation for offering a really great balance of performance and affordability.
Oh, wow.
Which is making them a real contender. The experts predicting a potential return of 94% for AMD with a price target of $360.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, it's definitely a higher risk, higher reward type of play, but if they can keep chipping away at NVIDIA's dominance, the potential upside is enormous.
It's like a classic example of how competition drives innovation. Yeah.
Absolutely, and especially in a market that's evolving so quickly.
All right, finally, we have the expert's 10x pick, Symbotic, ticker symbol SYM.
Oh,
Now, 10x means they believe this company could increase in value tenfold over the long term.
Wow.
They're focusing on a space that's right for disruption, warehousing, and logistics.
Interesting.
They're using AI to develop robot software systems that automate and optimize the entire movement of goods.
Like robots picking and packing orders, smart shelves that keep track of everything.
Exactly, and optimize routes that get products where they need to go faster and more efficiently.
It's like bringing the brains of a chess grandmaster to warehouse management.
I like that. And it's not just theory. They've landed a huge partnership with Walmart, who's using Symbotic's technology to automate their entire network of distribution centers.
Yeah, that kind of validation is huge. It really speaks to their potential to scale.
For sure. And while that 10x prediction is definitely a long-term speculative bet, the expert also sees significant potential in the shorter term as well. They're set a price target of $52 for Symbotic, which represents a 103% return. So as you can see, we've got a whole range of companies here, from the well-established to the potential disruptors. It really comes down to what kind of investor you are and what level of risk you're comfortable with.
Exactly. Understanding your own risk tolerance and your investment goals is absolutely crucial before making any decisions.
Couldn't agree more. Now, before we move on to the stocks that are making headlines this week, I do want to emphasize that we are presenting this information for educational purposes only.
Right. We are not financial advisors, and this is not investment advice.
Yeah, you should always do your own research, think about your own financial situation, and maybe even talk to a financial professional before making any investment decisions.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about two companies that are making news right now. Both of them are working on some pretty innovative technologies that have the potential to make a huge impact.
Yeah, for sure.
First up is IonQ, ticker symbol IONQ. They are all about quantum computing, which sounds incredibly complex, right?
It is. Quantum computing uses principles of quantum mechanics to solve problems that are way beyond the capabilities of even the most powerful computers we have today.
Wow.
It really has the potential to revolutionize so many different fields like drug discovery, materials, science, even financial modeling.
And what's really interesting is that Amazon has taken notice. They've partnered with IonQ to offer quantum computing services through their cloud platform. And on top of that, IonQ is expected to double their revenue just this year, which is
Huge.
huge growth. Yeah. But here's the thing. Quantum computing is still in its very early stages.
Right.
It's not clear when or even if it will become commercially viable on a large scale.
It's a long-term bet for sure, but the potential payoffs are so big that it's attracting attention not just from companies like Amazon, but, from governments and research institutions all over the world.
Okay, now let's talk about SoundHound AI, ticker symbol SII. They are working on voice AI, something that we interact with more and more every day through our phones, our smart speakers, all sorts of devices.
Yeah, SoundHound is a real pioneer in this space. They've developed some seriously impressive tech for speech recognition and natural language understanding, which allows computers to understand and respond to human speech in a way that's much more intuitive.
And they've had a little bit of a bumpy ride recently. Their stock is down 50% from its highs, partly because NVIDIA, remember that AI chip giant we were talking about?
Yeah.
Well, they sold off their stake in SoundHouse.
Interesting.
And that move definitely made some investors a little nervous.
I can see why NVIDIA's decision definitely raised some eyebrows, but it's important to keep in mind that, large investors have their own reasons for buying and selling, and those reasons don't always reflect the long-term prospects of a company.
So why is the expert still optimistic about SoundHound despite these setbacks?
Well, they believe in the company's technology and their position in the voice AI market, which is only going to grow, and they see this dip in the stock price as a potential buying opportunity.
So it's like a classic example of contrarian investing,
Totally. Sometimes when a stock price drops significantly, it creates an opportunity for investors who still believe in the fundamentals of the company and its long-term potential. But as always, you've got to do your own research and carefully assess the risks involved.
Great advice. And that wraps up part one of our deep dive into AI and tech stocks.
We covered a lot of ground, the overall market outlook, specific companies, even groundbreaking new technologies.
But we're just getting started in part two. We're going to take a closer look at these companies. We'll analyze their financial performance, their competitive landscape, and really get into the key factors that could drive their growth in the future.
So stay tuned, and we'll continue our deep dive in the next part of this episode.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of AI and tech stocks.
Picking up right where we left off, taking a closer look at those really interesting companies we were talking about in part one.
Yeah, and as always, we want to encourage you to listen critically, think for yourself, and do your own research.
Absolutely. So let's jump back into those top 5 tech stocks to watch, starting with Broadcom, or AVGK as they're known on the stock market.
Right.
This company is all about the infrastructure, the fundamental infrastructure for data centers.
The nervous system of the internet.
Exactly. And just think about it. The internet is only getting bigger, more complex. Every single minute, we're generating just a crazy amount of data.
From social media streaming services, online shopping, everything.
Everything and all that data has to be stored, processed, transmitted.
Right.
And that's where Broadcom comes in.
They provide those building blocks, the chips, the networking equipment, the software that makes it all work.
And as the demand for data centers just keeps growing, Broadcom is in a prime position to benefit from that.
It's like owning a pickaxe during a gold rush.
I like that analogy. And they've been busy, too. They've got a really strong track record of innovation and smart acquisitions.
Yeah, which has allowed them to stay ahead of the curve.
They're not afraid to adapt and evolve, which is really important in an industry that moves so fast.
For sure. Okay, let's move on to Arista Networks, ticker symbol ANET.
All right.
They specialize in high-speed networking, specifically in those data centers and cloud environments that we were talking about.
Right. They're known for their low latency switches. And just as a reminder, latency is the delay in data transfer.
Yeah, and those milliseconds can make a huge difference in today's digital world.
Think about things like financial trading, where, milliseconds can mean millions of dollars, or online gaming, where lag can be the difference between winning and losing.
Totally, Arista's tech makes sure that data moves super fast, which is critical for those applications.
And what's interesting is they're not just benefiting from AI, they're also riding this wave of increasing demand for bandwidth.
As more devices come online and need those faster connections.
Exactly. And their technology is actually super energy efficient too, which is becoming more and more important as data centers use more and more power.
Sustainability is definitely top of mind these days.
Absolutely. All right, what about Salesforce ticker symbol CRM?
So we talked about them being a giant in the world of customer relationship management.
Right, but they're not just sitting back, they're going all in on AI.
Yeah, specifically with AI-powered chatbots.
Yeah, chatbots are becoming so common for customer service sales, even marketing.
They can handle those routine tasks, answer frequently asked questions, even provide personalized recommendations.
It's like having a virtual assistant available 24/7.
And Salesforce is making these chatbots even more sophisticated by integrating AI.
Oh, wow. So they're not just responding to pre-programmed stuff.
Right, they're actually learning and adapting to how customers interact with them.
They can even anticipate what a customer might need and offer help before the customer even asks.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
The expert really sees this focus on AI as a key thing that sets Salesforce apart.
It makes sense.
And they've given them a price target of $412, which represents a 33% return.
It's a great example of a company that's not just resting on its past success. They're actively using AI to make what they already do even better.
Right? Which keeps them relevant and competitive.
For sure. Okay, how about AMD, ticker symbol AMD?
Now, this company's really making waves in the world of AI chips, going head-to-head with NVIDIA, the current industry leader.
They've been developing some seriously impressive GPUs and CPUs that are specifically designed for AI.
Those chips are like the brains behind all those cool AI applications we've been talking about.
They're the ones crunching the numbers, enabling those complex calculations.
And they're becoming more and more popular, not just in data centers and cloud environments, but even in consumer devices like gaming PCs.
Yeah, people are really starting to notice them.
It's a classic David and Goliath story.
Right. AMD is the underdog, but they're showing everyone that there's always room for innovation and competition, even in a market that seems really established.
Yeah, they're definitely a company to watch. Okay, finally, let's get back to the experts' 10x pick. Symbotic, or SYM on the stock exchange.
Right.
They believe this company could 10x its value over the long term.
That's a bold prediction.
It is, but their focus is on revolutionizing warehousing and logistics with AI, which is pretty compelling.
So those giant warehouses you see when you're driving down the highway?
Yeah.
Symbotic is using AI to make them smarter, more efficient. They're totally changing how goods are handled and shipped.
They've got robots that pick and pack orders, move pallets around, even do inventory checks, all without any humans involved.
It's like a scene from a sci-fi movie.
And their software can optimize everything, the layout of the warehouse, the routes that the products take, how inventory is managed.
Streamlining the whole process, which means lower costs, improved efficiency, and faster delivery times.
Like bringing the brains of a chess grandmaster to warehouse management.
Exactly. And remember their big partnership with Walmart.
Yeah.
They're using Symbotic's technology to automate their whole network of distribution centers, which really shows you how scalable and effective their solutions are.
So we've taken a deeper look at those 5 exciting tech stocks that are really riding the AI wave.
Each of them is tackling a different piece of the AI puzzle.
from the essential infrastructure to those really practical applications.
But they all share a common thread. They're using AI to create value, solve problems, and disrupt entire industries.
They're the leading edge of this technological revolution, and it's really exciting to see how they're shaping the future.
For sure. Now, before we wrap up this part, let's get back to those two companies that are making headlines right now.
IonQ, ticker symbol IAAMQ.
And SoundHound AI, ticker symbol Sound.
They're pushing the limits of AI, exploring those uncharted territories that could have a huge impact on the world.
They're both high-risk, high-reward ventures.
But the potential rewards are so big that they're attracting a lot of attention.
Absolutely.
So IonQ is all about quantum computing.
Which is a really mind-boggling technology.
It uses those principles of quantum mechanics to perform calculations that are just impossible for regular computers.
It's like comparing a bicycle to a spaceship.
It's a completely different way of thinking about computation.
And it has the potential to revolutionize so many fields, drug discovery materials, science, financial modeling.
Imagine being able to design new drugs at the atomic level or predict market movements with unbelievable accuracy.
That's the promise of quantum computing.
And IonQ is one of the leaders in this space.
And they've teamed up with Amazon to offer their quantum computing services through the cloud.
Which gives them access to a massive network of customers and resources.
Exactly. But like we said before, quantum computing is still in its very early stages. It's a long-term bet, and we don't really know when or if it will become something we use every day.
But the potential rewards are so huge that all the major players, Amazon, Google, IBM, they're all investing a lot in it.
Okay, let's talk about SoundHound AI.
Ticker symbol Sound.
They're all about voice AI.
Which is becoming a bigger and bigger part of our lives through our smartphones, hard speakers, all sorts of devices.
SoundHound has developed some seriously impressive tech for speech recognition, natural language understanding, and voice search.
Their goal is to make it feel as natural to talk to a computer as it is to talk to another person.
And they've partnered with some really big names like Hyundai, Mercedes-Benz, Pandora.
Wow.
To put their voice AI tech into their products.
But they have hit a few bumps in the road lately.
Yeah, their stock prices dropped and NVIDIA sold their stake in the company.
Which made some investors nervous.
Yeah, it's understandable those setbacks are definitely worth paying attention to, but the expert we've been following still believes in SoundHound.
They think the company's technology is strong and they've got a good position in the market for voice AI, which is only going to keep growing.
Exactly. They see this dip in the stock price as a possible buying opportunity for those who are willing to take on a little more risk.
It's a good reminder that even the most promising companies can face challenges, and it's important to think about both the risks and the rewards before investing.
Couldn't agree more.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into AI and tech stocks. We've covered a lot, haven't we?
We have from market trends to those specific companies and even some really mind-blowing tech.
Yeah, but now it's time to kind of zoom out and look at the bigger picture.
The forest for the trees.
Exactly. What are the bigger trends that are shaping the world of AI, and what do those trends mean for investors who are trying to make sense of it all?
Well, one of the most important trends is that AI is becoming more democratic.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that AI is not just for the big tech giants and those research labs anymore.
Okay.
It's becoming way more accessible to businesses and organizations of all sizes, even small startups.
So how is that happening?
Cloud computing is a big part of it. Platforms like, Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure are making it easier and a lot cheaper for anyone to access these really powerful AI tools and resources.
So even companies without, huge budgets for R&D can use AI to compete and innovate.
Exactly. And this is leading to a huge explosion of AI applications across a ton of different industries.
Like what?
Well, we're seeing it in healthcare for diagnosing diseases earlier and more accurately, in finance for detecting fraud and managing risk in retail, for personalizing the whole shopping experience, even in manufacturing to make production more efficient and reduce waste.
Wow, it sounds like the possibilities are endless, which is exciting, but also kind of overwhelming,
Sure.
How should investors approach that? Should they just invest in any company that mentions AI?
Well, that's where you have to be careful and do your research because not all AI companies are the same. Some are in a much better position than others to really benefit from this AI growth.
So what should investors be looking for? What makes a company a good bet in the AI space?
Well, one important thing is their competitive advantage. What makes them stand out from the crowd? Do they have special technology, a strong patent portfolio, a really talented team, or strategic partnerships that give them an edge?
So it's not enough to just jump on the AI bandwagon. You really have to understand what makes a company truly innovative.
Exactly. Another key factor is market opportunity. How big is the potential market for their products or services? Are they targeting a niche market or are they addressing a huge global need?
So a company could have incredible technology, But if there aren't enough customers out there, their growth potential is limited.
Right. And of course, you always have to look at the financials. Are they profitable? Are they growing their revenue? Are they financially healthy enough to weather any economic storms?
It's about looking beyond the hype and really digging into the fundamentals.
Exactly. Being informed and discerning. The AI revolution is still happening, and the companies and the technologies that we've talked about are just the beginning.
It's a really exciting time to be an investor, but you have to be thoughtful and strategic.
For sure.
Well, this deep dive has hopefully given you the tools and the information you need to start navigating this exciting world.
Remember, stay curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to explore the incredible potential of AI.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll see you next time for another fascinating deep dive into a totally new topic.